Hey everyone, how's it going today? Just like every other cool YouTuber, I'm out riding my one wheel today. But that's not the point of this video. Today I want to talk about different focal lengths that are great for vlogging. So we're going to look at a couple different lenses, a couple different distances on those focal lengths on those lenses, and talk about what's going to be the best. So right now I'm shooting this on a Sony 10-18 crop sensor lens. So with this crop sensor lens, it's a 10-18, but effective focal length on it is really going to be more like a 15-27. So it's pretty wide. It's probably be the equivalent of something more like a 16-35 millimeter lens. So that'll kind of give you an idea there. So we're going to take a look at this lens. Then we're also going to take a look at the 24-70. So we're going to see what's wide enough and what's going to be the best thing that you're going to want to use for doing kind of a vlog style setup with your lens and your camera. So all this is going to be shot on the A7 IV. Again, this is in APSC mode, so it's a little bit cropped in. It's a 1.5 crop on the Sonys. So we'll just kind of sort it out and go from there. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and take a look at some different lenses and some different stuff here and some different circumstances. We're going to check out here like we're just vlogging, going down the street. This could either be walking, riding a one wheel, whatever it may be. And then we're also going to look at what it looks like inside of a car and also what it looks like inside of the studio. So let's switch it out. Let's go get the 24-70 on this thing and take a look at what that looks like. All right, so now we're on the Sigma 24-70 lens. As you can see, it's a lot tighter shot here. It's a little bit harder to keep myself in frame. But I mean, overall at the 24 millimeters, I'm still definitely able to get a shot. It's still wide enough to kind of see what my backdrop looks like. So you can kind of see where I'm at as I'm cruising around. So now we're gonna make a corner here. Here we go. Always be safe when you're out vlogging on a one wheel. So with that, obviously this works. It's probably a little bit harder than what would like a 16-35 would be. So it's gonna be kind of personal preference. The 24-70 is a great all-around lens, but in this particular circumstance, it might not be as good as possible when it comes to holding handheld. So I'm not using any kind of extension either, no Gorilla Pod or anything like that. I'm just hand holding the camera. So it's it really, as far as my arm can go, is about as good as it's going to get as far as the distance away from me I can get with this lens. So overall, not terrible. Maybe it's the look you're looking for, but again, on that wide end on that 16, it's a lot easier to stay in frame and a lot easier to do those kind of things. So let's go ahead and head back. We're going to go get in a car and we're going to see what it looks like inside of a vehicle. Alright, so here we are. We're still on the 24-70. So this time we're set up inside of a vehicle. To give you an idea of how we're set up, I have the camera just on a tripod right now. It's basically sitting over the top of the passenger side seat. So I am in a full-size truck, so it gives you a little bit of reference. If you're in a smaller vehicle, you know, like a Honda or something like that, that might be a little bit tinier. That might be an issue for you. You can see how tight this is. This is all the way at 24 on that 24-70 lens. So another consideration with this is some of these cameras are going to go into a crop mode depending on what settings you're running. So the 24-70 Sigma is a full-size lens, and you can see this is a full 24 millimeters. Now, if I was to shoot, because I'm on the A7 IV, if I was to shoot this video in 60 frames per second 4K, it's going to add that 1.5 crop. So it's going to take this lens from a 24 millimeter lens all the way to a 36 millimeter lens. So you can tell, you would probably be able to see my hands at that point. It's going to be very, very focused on me. It's going to be a lot tighter of a shot running at that 36 millimeters as opposed to the actual full 24. So something to consider. Understand the crop value in your camera, because it's going to make a big difference in the way that your lens is working inside of like a tighter space like this. So again, with the full frame on the 24, not terrible. It's not the widest shot in the world, but it definitely still shows the person, shows out the window, it gets the whole kind of the interior of the vehicle. It's not too bad of a frame. So let's flip this over. We're going to put the 10-18, or like I said, that's 15-27 mil equivalent on it. And we'll kind of see how much wider that is inside the vehicles, running at about that 15 millimeter, kind of looking just like a 16-35 more or less would inside of a car. All right, so let's go ahead and swap that out and let's take a look. All right, so here we are, we're back on that 10-18 mil lens. So again, with that crop, it's about a 15 mil equivalent. Again, you can see this is a lot wider view in the vehicle. So if you were gonna be doing some kind of like automotive reviews, or you're gonna be doing a lot of vlogging inside of the car and you wanted to be able to see more, some people like to talk with their hands a lot. So if you want to see more movement inside the vehicle or anything like that, and you don't want it so tight on the person's face, then obviously this wider frame is going to be a lot better. And then taking into consideration too is if you were going to be filming somebody else, like the driver of a vehicle, while you were sitting in the passenger seat, and again, your camera has that crop on it, you don't have to worry about the crop being so big and so tight that you can't see what they're doing inside the vehicle, because a lot of times that might be part of the interest, is seeing them actually driving the vehicle and seeing a lot more maybe what they're wearing and stuff like that. So things to consider. I think again overall 24-70 is a great lens, but I think we can see where we're going with this, that 16 mil, that 16 to 35 mil, or a lens like this, even when it's in crop mode, you want that little bit wider field of view, so that the smaller that focal length, the better that you're going to be for inside of tight vehicles and spaces like this. So, all right, let's take it back. We're going to go ahead and jump into a studio setting now and see what the differences are there, if any, and kind of see what our final conclusion is on these lenses. So let's head back and we'll see you in just a second. All right, so here we are, we're back in what would be my normal 24mm studio setup. Normally I am filming all these videos with the Sigma 24-70, just all the way to the 24. Generally I'm only doing that because this lens is a 2.8 lens versus the one that I'm filming on now, which is that 18mm lens, the 10-18, which is an f4 lens, so I get a little bit shallower depth of field out of this one. But I'm not gonna swap out lenses this time. You can kind of get the idea of what the focal lengths look like. Obviously here we have the 24 setting, and then if I go wider, I can always show more of our scene. So significantly larger distance, or if I need to, I can always zoom in if I wanted to get a lot tighter shot. So there's a lot of flexibility in a lens that's got that basically 16 to 35 millimeters. I think that that's probably a pretty valuable lens for most people that are gonna be interested in doing something like this. Let's punch back out here a little bit. All right, so I think my final conclusion on this thing is I need to buy myself a 16 to 35 millimeter lens. I've been holding off. This lens is held on for a long time. I use it in all my real estate shoots and so forth. So overall, it's been a great lens. I would like to have a 2.8 lens, so a little bit faster aperture. That'd be great, especially for that shallow depth of field that I usually look for. But yeah, 24-70 lens if you're looking to go out and film other things. So if you want to take photos of other people or shoot videos of other people and stuff like that, this is going to be pretty good. Unless you're, again, shooting inside of a tight space like a car, then I think we go back to that 16 to 35 mil is going to be probably a little bit better lens for you. As far as just these kind of circumstances, I think that the 16 to 35 is probably where it's at, or some kind of equivalent. I think most major manufacturers make something that's going to be pretty similar to that. So yeah, I would definitely go check that out. If you're just getting into doing kind of vlog style videos and you want to be able to film yourself and kind of show what's going on around your scene, I think that 16 to 35 millimeter lens is going to be what you're looking for. So hey, I hope you appreciated this video. I was a little bit surprised at the focal lengths and how much it makes me want to buy a different lens for these kind of things like this. If you want further content like this, go ahead and make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that like button. And if you have anything that you want to talk about, maybe focal lengths or crop factor and stuff like that, throw it in the comments below. I'll take a look at that and we'll see what we can do for the next video. All right, we'll catch you in the next one.